Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So we have one person who will be leaving today, who wasn't around at 9:15. Her name is Milu. Maybe we can put a little love and gratitude and care into our singing, and we put a couple of mantras just for Milu. We focus all our love on her. Let's try. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. For Milu. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. For Kate and Jesse. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. For Laurel and Kirsty. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. For Sasha and Olive. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. And for our birthday girl, Jerry. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. And one for Ariel. Maybe he become the best musician in the world. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. person on the right of you, and the person on the left of you, and all of you here in the village. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, So I'd like to invite anybody. Simon, you want to come up and play some instrument? Some didge or some drum or
Whatever
something?
you want, I do.
You got a didge there?
I am did.
Do you know what key it's in?
It's like wait. Do, re dièse. Re dièse.
You come up, I'll figure it out. No problem. Anybody here? Where's Nico?
It's D sharp.
Yeah.
You want to come and drum? Where are you?
Yeah.
Oh, see.
G minor for me, so.
D sharp.
No, no.
D sharp. Freaking hell.
Nico, you are not going to play?
Yeah, we can sing that.
I can try.
Okay, Thomas. You come.
Come on!
You're in the ditch. Okay, so the good news is we have a ditch. The bad news is it's going to be a little high for some of you. But you know, you just go for it. What's that? No, you play. You must play. But it's going to be a little... Can I freaking do this? Alright, let's go. Wake up, rise up, sweet family. It's the time for the Lord.
need time.
Okay. Let's do it every time. Do it again on Friday.
Yeah.
Whoa. Okay. Okay. Lots happened in the last 20 minutes. Antonio G, hit us with the slide.
Yeah.
Thank you. You're reading my mind. All right. Hit us with another slide. Okay. This is Bhagavad Gita. And there's a couple of verses there, a couple of texts there, which talk about a state of mind where we are more or less happy on a peaceful, rock-solid platform, no matter what is going on in the external world. Simon's very happy about that. So, the concept is that in spirituality, and this doesn't matter what religion or not religion, or this spiritual tradition or that wisdom tradition or whatever, but just in spirituality, if we can draw happiness from within, something that is not affected by externals, then we have all power of happiness, or all power for whatever we want to do. If we are at the mercy, that if this person does this, then I'm going to be super upset, and if that person does this, I'm going to be devastated, and if this happens or that, if we live in that world, it's a fragile, vulnerable existence that can disintegrate at any time. So part of spirituality is, although we remain connected to all the beautiful people in our world, we also have a source of happiness so fixed up that we are invincible to the ever-flowing reality around us. Our happiness and our ability to love and give to others is unbreakable. It's the idea anyway. All you have to do is like put your hand over this flame and see where we're really at. Anyway, don't do that. Okay. I might read this quickly. One who is not disturbed in mind, even amidst the threefold miseries. That means miseries coming from our own mind, miseries coming from other living entities, and miseries coming from sort of just like universal situations, the weather or something. Or elated when there is happiness. Now this does not mean that one is not happy when there are sources of happiness. It means that one maintains a kind of sattvic, peaceful joyfulness throughout, and doesn't get that kind of excited happiness which has a tinge of anxiety and nervousness and overexcitement to it. We remain peacefully joyful. And who is free from attachment, fear, and anger is called a sage of steady mind. Next. Hit me, Antonio. Thank you, sir. A person is considered still further advanced when he or she regards honest well-wishers, affectionate benefactors, the neutral, mediators, the envious, friends and enemies, the pious and the sinners, all with an equal mind. So the idea here is not that we are going up and kissing our enemy necessarily or something like that. We do deal with people in different ways depending. There's a Bengali proverb where I was living in India. They say, love everyone, but don't embrace a tiger. Does it make sense? Some people we may have to love from a distance because they will be abusive to us, but we still wish them well. Our consciousness is that, for example, in my situation here, or in Enrica, in my situation here, sometimes a person becomes so disturbing to others that we have to remove them, because I have to balance their benefit and the community's benefit. And if they're hurting too many people, too disturbing, the scale's way too much like that, and so I have to do that. But we never shift internally from our desire for their well-being. So whether we're looking at Ananda or Lakshmi, which are our horses, or Ginger Cat and Crazy Cat. By the way, if anybody sees Ginger Cat, is Ginger Cat okay?
Yeah, yesterday was.
Okay, good deal. I think Ginger Cat might have eaten a cane toad. Anyway. He's okay. He's very tough. His big brother is Crazy Cat, so you gotta be tough in that family. So sometimes a person will act in a way where they're envious of us. We didn't do anything, and they're just jealous of us, or envious, or they're just attacking us for some reason. Or we're not a threat. We're kind to them, but they treat us as if we're a threat. Many things may happen in life. We don't know. So although we may act differently towards different people, our heart is always the same. We're looking to do what's best for them and everyone. This is the idea. And what are we called? Still further advanced. So that's a sage with steady mind. Alright, next slide. Isn't that a beautiful slide? Has anybody ever had a relationship where there has been a little conflict at some point? Has anybody ever had a relationship where there's been a little conflict at some point and then forgiveness? Yeah. And isn't it such a pleasurable thing? Such a sweet, high energy thing? Has anybody ever had a relationship where there's some conflict and you're unable to forgive and it's broken? I've done that. What to do? Next slide. Woo! This is the masterful, ingenious work of Gracie. She finds these things somewhere on the web. So, sometimes we run into an obstacle in our heart or mind which does not allow us to forgive. And in most cases, or in many cases, that obstacle is a kind of sense of justice. They did me wrong. It was not fair. They broke the rules. I did many good things for them and then they turned around and betrayed me, or something like that. We have this sense of justice in our minds, and it's useful. We need to be fair. We need to be just. However, if we run up against a situation where, let's just take an example, somebody does something to me, or somebody does something to us, and it hurts us. And then our attempt to create a forgiving, resolved, harmonious relationship there is not accepted. The other person doesn't want that. Maybe they even try to hurt us again. If we don't forgive, the situation that we find ourselves in is that somebody else did something to us which hurt us, and then we, in response to that, hold on to that in a kind of internal dialogue. What did you call it, Jude?
The itty bitty shitty committee.
Has anybody ever started to tell a story in here? And then he did this, I can't believe he did that, and, you know.
Generating misery.
See. An internal dialogue which is not healthy for us, which is hurting us. So if we step back from that, the situation is somebody hurt us, and our response is to keep hurting us. You follow this? So the liberation door, the way of freedom, the way out, is to rise above. In that state of mind, we are thinking there's two possibilities. Either they come to their senses and apologize, or I'm going to hold this itty-bitty thing. I'm going to hold this until they do something. I'm going to stay unhappy, upset, hurt, not in a good headspace until someone else does something. I have just given up my power to someone else. Maybe they will come forward and, Madreya, I'm really sorry, I understand, blah, blah, blah. Maybe they won't. But I can't give them that power. I must forgive for my own health and happiness. Do we understand? It's kind of simple, isn't it? But I think it helps to clarify. Thank you, Gracie, for such a
Please?
Outstanding visual. Oh, Simon.
Yeah, just when we are having those kind of dialogues, it's not only creating misery for ourselves, but all around. So just watch out carefully.
No man or woman is an island. We are all affecting those around us. Kurt Cobain, remember him?
Yeah.
He had a little thing anyway, he said, if I want to take drugs, it's my own beep, 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 prerogative. And when I saw that, I was watching it on the TV like 20 years ago, or 15 years ago maybe. And I was thinking, in a way, but we also affect others. Whatever we do, we affect. Even in terms of sociology, for example, let's say if parents smoke, the children are more likely to smoke. If there's abuse in the parents, there's more likely to be abuse in the children. If the parents are healthy, the children are more likely to be healthy. If the parents are overweight, in this way, not only with our children, but with all the people around us, we are affecting them. I guess we could go and be a hermit, like in a cave or a little hut somewhere. But even then, we've removed ourselves from an ability to serve and love others. So really, no matter how you go about it, if we hurt ourselves, we will hurt those around us. Thank you, Simone, for pointing that out. The tension between our sense of justice and our desire to be free from a self-destructive internal dialogue. Slide. So this is one that I think is obvious, and then we'll go to one that may not be as obvious. And at this point, we're sliding into a perspective from the East, from the sort of yoga world, or Buddhist world, or Jain world. So if this doesn't resonate with you or align with you, it's no problem. But I'll present it anyway. So here we have an event. We get our wage, and somebody's putting that wage into our account or handing us money in an envelope or whatever it is. But we know, everybody knows, that it's not the treasurer or the postman or something who's giving us that money who is the cause of us getting that money. The actual cause, the deeper cause, is the good work that we did at our job. You understand? It's super simple, but it's setting ourselves up for the next slide so we can kind of capture this. Or another example, we're losing money because maybe we drove too fast, like I did a couple months ago. And I was driving too fast with my seatbelt off, talking on my mobile. Oh man!
How much?
Too much. Too much. Lesson learned. So, was it the policeman's fault in that case, or in this case, the court official who delivers the fine? Or, in a deeper sense, did I disrespect the laws of the country, which is benefiting me in so many ways? This country is providing roads and all sorts of infrastructure and who knows what. Like I can just go into Moulin and, get myself a smoothie or whatever it is that I want to do in there. Somebody's arranged all that, and that whole thing is being set up by a country. Like we can do internet. I didn't set up the internet in this country. James Packard did, or somebody. I don't know. But like that, I'm receiving all benefits from a country. They are asking me to follow some laws. I'm disrespecting those laws, and I'm getting a fine. Okay. So that is the cause. Slide. Thank you. So this one may challenge some people. Basically, if you're in the camp who you resonate with karma and reincarnation and that kind of worldview, this will make total sense. If you do not resonate with karma and reincarnation, this will not make sense. Please forgive me. I'm just putting it up here. At least it will create some thought. So let's say we're born to very loving parents. Superficially, that may seem, it just happened to be some luck, some random chance. But at a deeper level, from the karmic perspective, we have created that for ourselves, actually. Not that we gloat or get arrogant about it, but at a deeper level, we understand that's a reciprocation from, say, in the Vedic view, from a divine, loving source. They are reciprocating it with us. They are acting as like a good mother. Oh, you did very well here. You know, they're encouraging us, helping us, showing us that when you do like good like this, then here, like holding up a mirror to us. Or say something bad. Anyway, this is a little bit of a trite example, but sometimes, I think somebody committed suicide because of this. A friend of ours reveals a confidential secret about us on Facebook. Superficially, we may see that as our friend. Now at this point, we're just about to enter into the kind of substance of this class. At that point, we just went on Facebook. I've never been on Facebook, so I'm just imagining. We just go on Facebook and we see some real secret, a real secret, something we really care about, has just been put out there. Like this. Do we go down that road where whoever that was who did that, we start to enter that dialogue? Ooh, and then we start writing. Or do we, that impulse is there, and do we then, how can I learn from this? How can I grow from this? What is this meant to teach me? How can I evolve? Do we take it in that positive way? So from the Vedic perspective or the yogic perspective, the universe is acting like a loving mother to us. And if there is any kind of suffering or difficulty or trouble in our life, it is from a loving motherly source. This is the idea. Again, you don't have to accept this. You just feel this, whether it aligns with you or not. There is an argument for this given by, they didn't know they were arguing for this, but given by a gentleman called Proust, a pragmatist. I will give that argument in a minute. But I think on a practical level, we can understand what happens when we do one or the other. Sometimes in life coaching we talk like this also. Whether this is true or not, what will happen to us if, when something terrible happens like this, we go into blame, shame, attack, revenge, we go into that space? Or when we go into the space, okay, let me forgive, let me understand that at a deeper level, I am manifesting this, I have brought this, how can I learn from this? How can I evolve from this? How can I grow from this? It's pretty obvious, right? Which one may be better? So there was an argument by a gentleman called Proust, and a general argument given by pragmatists. Pragmatists are a group of philosophers. The basic statement is, the truth is what works. You're sort of going backwards in terms of science to find what's true. If something is working, again and again and again, like let's say we're eating in a particular way, and we're just getting healthier and healthier and healthier. All right, if it's working, then that eating must be good nutrition. You understand? Whatever works, there must be science behind it. Do you follow this? So if we act in a particular way in our relationships, and our relationships are getting more and more loving, more and more sweet, more and more intimate, then it's working. Therefore, in terms of the science of relationships and love, we're doing the right thing. Even if we didn't learn it the other way, the experimental way, we just intuitively did something. If it's working, do you follow this? This is an argument given by a group of people called the pragmatists. So when we look at something like this, the superficial cause of this negative experience was a friend, or a so-called friend. The deeper cause, perhaps, is that, can we really say that we never told anybody's secret ever before? Have we really never done that? Do you understand what I mean? Somebody told us a secret and said, okay, but don't tell anybody. And then we had one friend and we kind of went, hey, man, guess what I found? Is that really, have we never done that? Sometimes when we ask ourselves those questions, yeah, maybe I've done it. And it starts to create evolution in us. When we see ourselves as the cause, although it can be challenging, it's empowering. It's easy then to forgive our friend and to return a hurtful act with love. We become empowered to do that. We become empowered to get out of that negative space. Things begin to bounce off of us. We become unaffected. We become like a yogi. And at the same time, we're evolving. In all ways, it's a very positive way to approach a negative experience, a so-called negative experience. Does this make sense? So this is yoga life. This is a little bit of a challenging one, but this is yoga life. Now, if we go with the pragmatist view, and this class is not to prove or disprove anything like that, but if we follow the pragmatist view that because this is working, therefore there is science behind it or philosophy behind it, the philosophy behind this would be karma and reincarnation. That we have had multiple lives, we have developed karma, and because of that, we are all in different situations. We all have different levels of beauty and wealth and strength. We're boys or girls or this is that. We're born with kind of different desires. Anybody who's raised children knows even at a very young age, 2 or 3, whatever, or younger, they start to manifest and show quite unique, characteristics, traits, like that. Who here has spent a lot of time with little kids? Isn't it? They don't pop out like cookie cutters. They pop out like very different, unique, individuals. All right. Does anybody want to say anything or ask anything or anything up for this one? Slide. Thank you for this one, Gracie. Slide. Slide. Who here thought that Adam and Eve were gingers? Jude says that it's genetically impossible. Ginger, it means red hair. It's okay.
What are they doing there?
I don't know. Talking secretly? You shouldn't have eaten that apple. Well, that looks good.
They are practicing emotional intimacy.
That's it.
This is the Garden of Eden, so it's made by God. Everything in this garden is good. How is it possible that the evilness, how possible that Satan can go in the Garden of Eden and poison the mind?
Do you want the philosophical answer to that?
No.
It is a game.
It is
A game.
a
It
game.
is like chess. It is a game between God and Satan.
The classical answer, if you want
Give me
it.
a better.
Do you want that answer?
Go.
Do you want that answer?
Do you have one?
There is a classical philosophical answer to that. I'll present it and you take it or leave it. Basically the argument is that the highest value is love. The highest value is love. And all other things can be sacrificed for love. This is the idea. Love is the highest happiness, love is the highest goal, like this. So even if we don't think that is true, but let's roll with that to go on this little logical journey. If the highest value is love, a prerequisite to having loving relationships is free will. You cannot have love between a piece of cement and a piece of plastic because they're not living free will beings. There's no sense in talking like that, unless maybe you get way out there into some sort of quantum physics situation and you think that they are in some way conscious. Okay, but in the normal sense, we talk about love between persons, even if it's crazy cat and ginger cat, 2 living entities. So if we have love as the highest value, and a prerequisite to love requires us to have free will, the ability to choose to love or not. Therefore, a necessary evil, if you wish love to be possible, is that you give people the choice to choose to love you or not. You follow this? So this is a classical argument for why evil exists in the world. There's actually a whole class. Gracie, where are you?
Yes.
Did you and I do that one? Or
Yeah,
the problem of evil. So this is a whole thing in itself. It's had books and books and books written about it and lectures and back and forth for centuries. It's only been in the West. In the East, again, where reincarnation and karma are there, it's never come up. Because they just assume if a bad thing is happening to a good person, or a good thing is happening to a bad person, that's a reflection of some past life. Whereas in the West, you get stuck. A child who's obviously innocent is suffering, or you see two children. One is rich, beautiful, healthy, all good things. One is poor, struggling, suffering like that. How can that be if there's in the West, we've mostly been Christian, if you just look over the last 1500 years. So just to present that argument, if there's a loving God, as there is in Christianity, how then can you have this kind of, what would you call this, inequality? Imbalance. Simone?
I think it's because in religious, in the creation of spirituality and love, it's just the conception that we may have put of what is bad or good for you. In India, they have caste, and the lowest caste.
Yeah, remember Europe also had caste until 200 years ago. But yeah, keep going.
Okay.
In other words, the caste was all over the world. It's just that India got the Industrial Revolution a little bit late. So they've still got a remnant of the caste, whereas we threw our caste off.
Yeah, over there.
Yeah, a little bit.
But I never saw as much as happy child and as much as conscious and powerful being that the lower class, because they are happy, because they know that they deserve it, and they are not complaining all the time about how tough is their life.
True.
But they are happy about being able to clear their own karma for the next one.
On that previous slide, they have chosen to accept it as themselves and to just be happy in whatever circumstances. It's true. However, just popping back here to the Western dilemma, the West has not had reincarnation since about 4th, 5th, 6th century AD as a popular, sort of belief everywhere. It did used to exist. It has not recently. So then you get stuck in this situation. Two children are there. Imagine, is Elise having twins? No. So let's just say.
But Liz is having another one. Elisa is having one. Liz is having another one.
I can be if you want me to be.
That's okay. Let's say some nice lady has twins. No loving mother or father is going to give all good things to one child and treat the other child in an evil way, create suffering, even at a human level. So there was some gentleman who said, I cannot believe in a God who is morally inferior to a decent human being. I can't remember who that was. Gracie and I were trying to find that quote. But you follow? If God is in the Christian perspective, like a loving father, something like that, then how can one suffer and one be happy? But in the East, they're thinking their expanded view, so they're seeing over multiple lifetimes. So they know, like, say, a Hitler is taking birth again. He's not annihilated and he doesn't exist. He's going to be born somewhere as somebody. Doesn't have to be human, but let's say he was born as a human child and you're a loving father or mother. How are you going to deal with little baby Hitler? He may have to go through some pretty rigorous discipline to try and shift his psychology back to not. There's a joke in here, but I'm not going to tell it. We'll save that for another time. Alright, anyway, we'll go on the problem of evil some other day. So, we have Adam and Eve here. Now this is a story that I came across a couple of years ago. And I don't know if it's true or not. It's a kind of interpretation of the Old Testament, of this story in Genesis, the Garden of Eden, which is very interesting. I thought it was very interesting. I'll present it to you. And again, this is not Vedic or yogic. It is actually Vedic or yogic philosophy, but this person who told me this story was from a different tradition and just talking in a different way. But anyway, I felt that it was quite enlightening. Hit me with a slide here. Thank you, Antonio, or whoever did that. Thank you. Grazie. So this is just a little story. And the Lord God took the man and put him into the Garden of Eden to work and take care of it. And the Lord God commanded the man, saying, "You are free to eat from any tree in the garden, but you must not eat from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. For when you eat from it, you will certainly die." Now, when I was 4 or 5 years old, was the first time I read this. And it created it hit my radar. You must not eat from the tree of knowledge of good and evil. And I was thinking in my little boy brain, how can knowledge be bad? To know something, to have more wisdom or more knowledge, that must be a good thing. Anyway, my little boy mind used to think about that. But you must not eat from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. So somehow you eat the fruit of this tree, then you have some knowledge of good and evil, and if you do, you're going to die. Next slide. Okay, this is the most words we ever put on a slide. Now the serpent was more crafty than any of the wild animals the Lord God had made. He said to the woman, "Did God really say you must not eat from any tree in the garden?" The woman said to the serpent, "We may eat fruit from the trees in the garden, but God did say, you must not eat fruit from the tree that is in the middle of the garden, and you must not touch it or you will die." "You will not certainly die," the serpent said to the woman, "for God knows that when you eat from it, your eyes will be opened, and you will be like God, knowing good and evil." When the woman saw that the fruit of the tree was good for food, and pleasing to the eye, and also desirable for gaining wisdom, she took some and ate it. She also gave some to her husband, who was with her, and he ate it. Then the eyes of both of them were opened, and they realized they were naked. And this goes on to say, they became ashamed, they entered into anxiety, to fear. All these negative things which we spoke about, or which were written in that very first verse, fear, anger, was it fear, anger, and
Shame.
something like that. I mean, those things are there. I just can't remember the exact slide. But fear's there. Immediately they enter into anxiety. Eat the fruit, boom, anxiety, stress, fear, we're naked, shame, put clothes on. I'm not endorsing we go, the other way. Emotional intimacy has limits in the village. So, the idea here that I was presented with is that when they ate this fruit, by the way, you'd be interested to know, this was supposedly written in about 1500 BC by Moses. Moses supposedly wrote the first 5 books of the Old Testament. That's about 1500 BC. Interestingly enough, around 1500 years before that, in the oral tradition of the Srimad Bhagavatam, a book in India, the same story is there, but a bit different. A little bit different, but it's still there. I'll show that story one day. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. Anyway. So the idea is this. They were on a platform of consciousness. Again, this is this is just a friend of mine telling me this. His interpretation. They were on a platform of consciousness where they were seeing all things as good. A so-called good thing, I'm happy. Something good happens to us, great. Somebody loves us, or somebody gives us $1,000, or somebody gives us a hug, or we go on Sunday and there's the best food ever and our favorite song is playing. A good thing happens, we're happy. A so-called negative thing happens, and we don't think, oh, this is bad. We think, oh, how can I grow? How can I evolve? What is this trying to show me? What can I learn here? In other words, we have a platform of consciousness where a good thing is good and a so-called bad thing is good. Because our consciousness is such that we are perceiving it in that way. We are perceiving it as if a loving mother or father are arranging or reciprocating with us. We are speaking, acting, moving, working, doing all the things that we do. We have done for this whole lifetime. We have done in previous lives. And the divine arrangement is reciprocating with us. You understand? Have we ever come across a book, a person, a conversation, an event where we think, I know I'm supposed to learn something here. This has been sent to me at this time for me to learn this or to learn that or this is a sign. Have we ever, this happens to me regularly. I think so, anyway. So, I think so. When they ate from the knowledge or the consciousness of good and evil, they came down to a platform where good things are now good, but bad things are bad, and they're out of our control. They've stepped down from this platform of freedom and forgiveness, and everything is a reciprocation between me and the divine. Now, this is a random, chaotic universe, and anybody can hurt me at any time. I'm fearful. I'm not protected. Eve may leave me, or I don't know, there might be a fire, or what if I run out of food, or where's my clothes, or I don't have enough money, or how will I get to my next place, or all these kind of anxieties enter. Do you understand his interpretation of this story? I thought it was quite interesting. A consciousness platform that everything that happens to us is good, coming from a loving source. Whether it seems good or bad, it is good. Or we come down to thinking things are good and evil. We have eaten from the fruit of the tree of knowledge of good and evil. Now, things are good, but even then we can't fully be happy with them because they're not, they could leave us, or they could fail, or whatever, you know. Or something bad happens to us, it is bad. Do you follow this? It's a little bit subtle. I don't know who put their hand up first. Enrique?
No, my hand is just saying it's 5 minutes to finish.
Oh, was it 10 past 1?
It was subtle, yeah.
Oh. Vicky?
Just really quick, I always took it as like the story was ignorance is bliss in a way, and kind of God was protecting them from it because knowledge.
Kind of innocence.
Yeah,
in a sense.
knowledge is beautiful, but with it comes a lot of pain, and unless you're on a certain consciousness that you can deal with that, the good and the bad, it can be a curse. And so in my head, when I first saw that story when I was a kid, that's how I took it was, you know, sometimes it's nice to be naive, but then, you know, it also is good to have your eyes open. It's just as a challenge to balance. Once you're aware of what's going on, it's always a tricky balance.
And in a way, when you just read that out, take on that, it is, on the previous slide it says that because therefore you're trying to become God. And in a way, I think it said that. Like if you eat it, you are trying to become like God, or it says
like
it here.
that. You'll have the same
Yeah, of
wisdom,
course,
the same
you
knowledge.
are not, but you're trying to become like God. And in a way, it is like that in our normal life. We think we are the doers of everything. We think we are the ones that are in charge, or are kind of getting thrown at with things, and that there is nothing protecting us, nothing helping us.
But also, consciousness is what separates us from animals. And while it is nice to not
They're
have...
not conscious.
Well, they're conscious, but I mean like,
Conscious
you know, aware
awareness.
they're going to die, aware of what's going on around them beyond just food and the basic needs. And so it is a blessing to be able to think past that and have compassion and think of all these things, but then also with that comes more stress, more responsibility.
It's fair point. Simone?
And like, don't you think that before being a human being, you've been like a vegetal, a mineral, and then a human, and then an animal to experience all those feelings, and that if you don't go through like a conscious kind of living, you may actually go
You
back.
may be crazy, Kathy.
It's okay, it's okay. And what I see in this, like, you know, good, bad, it's just duality. It's what they make us stay here in this world and make us like keep on circling on this beautiful karmic wheel. But there is a new one that we can write on. It's called Dharma, the will of liberation, which is like stop seeing good, stop seeing bad, just embracing whatever comes with all our heart and our understanding of life, as you say. What I believe is that I choose everything because I don't detach myself from God. I am God as much as everyone here is. And even further than this, I think that we are all the creator of what's happening here. That we are all interconnecting and creating
Co-creating.
Yeah, co-creating, thank you. With our thoughts, with our behaving.
All right.
So, be happy.
Very nice then. Because we're short on time here, let's just flip these last couple of slides and then I'll set you off free. Hit me, Antonio. Figuratively speaking. Okay, so this is another beautiful slide, the Gracie Medic. These slides are not so easy. So, this person here is taking positive and negative events, all the things that occur to us, all the people, books, conversations, events that come into our lives, and is assuming their platform philosophy, their fundamental philosophy, is that this is a reciprocation between our state of mind, the thoughts and actions and words that we have chosen with a loving universe. We don't have to get into God or this or that, but some kind of loving reciprocation is there. So that when something good is happening, positive events are seen to come from a divine loving source, thereby infusing us with love and gratitude. So something wonderful happens to us, we are responding with gratitude. And seemingly negative events are seen to be a loving wake-up call, inspiring us to transform and grow. So a seemingly positive event happens, we're happy, we're full of gratitude. A seemingly negative event happens, we are happy. It's a different type of happiness, it's a different type of positive thing. We are simply being called to learn. Either way, we are entering deeper into yoga, loving connection with the divine, and a more and more profound sense of joy. Again, this sits on a platform of philosophy which we may or may not feel aligned with, but it does work. And over here, which I cannot read, I'm going to mess up your photo shoot there, Jude. We are disempowered. Now this is when something is negative happening to us, or positive, but we feel it has nothing to do with us. No matter what I do, the universe can just randomly do anything to me. I could die or be tortured or hurt, or I'm fearful. I do not feel that I'm in the hands of a loving divine arrangement. Therefore I feel disempowered, thinking others to be the cause of my happiness or our happiness. And thereby I have given someone else charge over whether I have a happy life or not. Whatever they do is whatever my family or friends or lover or children or boss or this or that, whatever they do, that's going to be the cause of whether I'm happy or sad. Not that no matter what happens, I'm going to be happy and I'm going to deal with everything in a positive way. We respond to a seemingly positive event with uneasy happiness, so we don't even get full happiness because it can be taken away at any moment. There's fear. And a seemingly negative event is completely unhappy. And in neither case, positive or negative, are we inspired to growth or learning or transformation. Is this okay, my dear friends? All right, so I think we've used up all our time for today. Thank you all very much for coming. Oh, one announcement here.
Thank you.